If you want to listen to all of the episodes of this series right now, early release and ad-free, plus a whole host of extra fan club benefits, head to museumofpopculture.supportingcast.fm. Or if that's too much of a mouthful, just click on it in the show notes, which is the description bit that no one reads. Hello and welcome. I am Josh Widdicombe. For today, I'm the curator of a place of incredible artefacts and exhibitions, a place that stores the greatest thing on earth. This is my archive of pop culture. Welcome back to part 3 of the story of the Chippendales. Coming up in this episode.
The unlikely founder of this hunk hysteria is an immigrant from Bombay, India, who came to America, took a look around, and decided what this country really needed was a male striptease routine.
They're all kind of like very good-looking guys that will be very attractive for our female clientele.
Steve Banerjee ended up making tens of millions of dollars on what he called Chippendale dancers. But today, Banerjee and his world-famous American dream are in serious trouble as he stands accused of ordering hits on his ex-employees.
I suppose the first thing to at the start of this episode, Susie, is you see why I took off the bow tie and the cuffs for the second episode.
Yeah, I think it would have seemed at best misplaced, at worst
career ending.
Really shitty of you.
To be dressed as a Chippendale. It's a dark story, Susie. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is to remember, no one knows this is going on. So the public world of the Chippendales is still just this kind of flippant sex show. All the darkness is totally hidden. So there's an article in the Times about what it's like when the Chippendales comes to the UK. So just to get another image of what this show is like. So this is in the Times of England, the paper of record, Susie. So it says, props are basic, bananas, truncheons and candles. By the end, it's hard to say which are more strained, the men's pelvic muscles or the women's vocal cords. But the Chippendales are no longer just a show. In true American style, they've become a concept. They merchandise clocks, mugs, tea towels and T-shirts. You can exercise in a Chippendales aerobics video, cross off the days on a Chippendales calendar, and even play strip jack naked with highly appropriate cards. Since their debut in London last winter, the Chippendales have seen nearly 400,000 women across the country.
Oh my God.
To put it in perspective, that is way more tickets than I sell on tour.
You make far less women scream on tour.
I'm in the wrong game, yeah.
Well, but after this, people that are members of the fan club that have seen the bod.
Exactly. I heard quite a funny story that about Paul McCartney. You know that thing where like dads say, "Oh, I'm in the bloody wrong game here."
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but someone told him like they're an electrician or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, and Paul McCartney was like, "Oh, I'm in the wrong bloody game." You're like, "I don't think you are, Paul." You've got £1 billion.
Yeah, I think you should be happy with the game you're in.
I don't think a late night call out fee for a broken boiler is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to level with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Yeah. So nearly 400,000 women across the country. To meet demand, a second troupe was quickly imported, and while one now plays the West End, the other continues to tour. The shows are interchangeable, and so it seems to the men. As one confided, it's like being in the army, but not so bad. Great quote. It's like Beatlemania. The British fans have welcomed them with open arms, sometimes literally. In Glasgow, guards have had to form a human chain to keep them back from the stage. In Manchester, firemen were called to rescue a girl who tried to hurl herself down from the balcony.
What?
It's mad, isn't it?
I can't ever imagine liking anything that much.
No. Well, you haven't seen me.
I have.
You have.
We've been very good friends for more than a decade.
Oh, my God. A proud great-grandmother explained that the entire country had been struck by Chippendale fever, with their initial run at the Strand already extended from July 22nd to September 21st. It's clear the capital itself is far from immune. So, to the outside world, like the Chippendales are just this kind of phenomenon.
They're killing it.
Yeah, they're killing it. They've created something, an international, amazing kind of explosion that is a completely new and fresh idea. That's so rare. Do you know what I mean?
So rare.
Like, it's not just like they're Taylor Swift who's doing music after other people have done music, and I love Taylor Swift. What I mean is, like, they've invented a whole genre, and it's huge.
If you just look at it briefly from a female perspective,
Yeah.
there must have been female strippers that are like, I have been doing this really well for so long. And you would never get that, would you? You'd never get...
Well, I tell you what it is. It's the dynamic, obviously the power dynamic, right, is completely different and horrible, isn't it? The other way.
Like you're being bought.
Yeah, exactly. But this way, it feels to us, even though we've heard the show, playful, doesn't it? It feels funny.
And I think it feels like the control is, you're going to be lucky tonight because I'm going to come to you.
It's a bit like Take Me Out, isn't it? Take Me Out works with the man coming out and the 22 women. The other way, that would have been
not good.
The single worst TV show in the history of humanity.
Yeah, definitely.
It's almost like stripping works. Like, look at Magic Mike now. It feels more wholesome. Is that the wrong word?
I guess there doesn't feel like there's any threat.
Yes, that's what it is, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong, there was probably some absolutely batshit mental women.
Well, there was the woman that wanted to snort cocaine off the guy's dick.
But there would have been some women that were crossed the line, that probably veered into illegal. But I think that potentially if you were a very famous female stripper, your fear wouldn't be, oh my God, all these men are going to throw themselves at me. Your fear might be a man's going to kill me.
Well, the other thing also is, what I'm reading out, they've put a line of guards across the stage in Glasgow. You switch the sexes there. That's absolutely horrific.
Yeah, I guess it's just a totally different thing. It's a power thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if the boys were sort of scared. I wonder if they were ever like, oh God, this is too much.
Susie, let's not forget the man who can never enjoy a kiss again.
I mean, I think that's terribly sad. I feel very sad for him.
Well, while all this is going on, feel sad for Nick DeNoyer because he has a contract out on his head, and that contract has been handed to Ray Colon.
Which is the good thing for Nick.
Well, will it be? In February 1987, so Steve tells Ray to get the job done. He said if he doesn't get it done soon, he's going to hire someone to whack Ray. And obviously we have this discussion, why don't you get them to kill Nick? So basically Ray finally gets someone to do the job. And this guy is called Errol Lynn Bresler. He's got reddish blonde hair, and so he's got the nickname Strawberry. So he's going to get Strawberry to kill Nick DeNoyer. So Strawberry tells Ray that he's worked as an informant for the FBI and the DEA, asks if Ray wants such work, and Ray goes no. But even though he doesn't trust Strawberry, he basically can't think of anyone else to do the job. So he asks Strawberry if Strawberry will do it. Strawberry's interested, but says he'll only do it if he can do it with his friend. It's mad, isn't it?
I want to bring my friend. I don't want to do the killing by myself. It's too scary.
I've got a friend who wants to come along for the murder. Could he?
Can he come? And could you pay him a bit?
Work experience.
I've got an apprentice.
Can I bring my friend? Anyway, bad news for Ray. Strawberry calls a few days later and he says his friend's busy, so he's not going to do the job. So he passes because his friend, as if he's busy as well. I'm sorry, I'm too busy for a murder.
Yeah.
How busy are you? Like, they haven't got a date in the diary. So Ray has to stall Steve a bit longer because Ray can't find anyone to do the murder. So the next time Steve calls, Ray says he's found someone to do the job. Classic stalling from Ray. But he needs $500 to buy a gun. And so he says he's going to go and buy a gun from the Chinese mafia, and then Steve insists on coming. So here's a scene. Steve drives Ray to a strip mall in Monterey Park in LA, and he pulls into the parking lot. Ray spots the guy he's buying the gun off, stands beside, goes up to him. The guy's beside a black Mercedes. They walk to the rear of the Mercedes, open the trunk, boot. Come on. It's happening in America, but we're going to keep it as boot.
Absolutely.
And Steve basically sees the man hand Ray a shoebox, and then the pair move behind the trunk, blocking Steve's view. But Ray walks back to the car with the shoebox under his arm, right? Steve gets out, opens the boot of his car, for Ray to put the shoebox with the gun inside. Ray asks Steve if he wants to see the gun. Steve declines, luckily, because the box is empty. Ray's just been making the whole thing up.
So he's got someone to pretend to be the mafia.
It was a friend he'd met in acting class, Susie.
Oh my God, Ray's taking acting classes as well. Ray, what are you doing? Ray, choose a lane. What are you doing?
Ray is so lost, isn't he?
He's so lost.
Could you, I know you're good at acting. Could you come and pretend to sell me a gun? Because I'm trying to convince my friend that I'm going to commit a murder, even though I've got no one to do the murder for me. And so I'm pretending to buy a gun and now he's coming along.
Just no.
Ray basically wants to get into the movies, Susie, because he's in LA.
Don't they all? Isn't that what everyone wants to do in LA?
So he's been taking acting lessons and also he's been writing scripts as well, Susie.
I don't know why. I assume they're bad.
Of course they're bad. He can't even burn down a fucking building. Also, he's already got a gun, so that he didn't need a gun. It's all just a delaying tactic, yeah?
But he's not delayed it by much because now Steve thinks he has a gun.
And he thinks he's got a hitman.
So I'm going to use delaying tactics so he can watch me buy a gun. Now I've got a shoebox and that gun I already had. I don't know that we can call that a delaying tactic.
So he settles on one of the people that failed to burn down the second place, Gilberto Rivera Luis Lopez, who he'd hired to do the Pearl Harbor arson. So he meets Louis at a restaurant. Louis is still annoyed because he didn't get paid for that arson, but it did fail, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair.
Even though, because of that, he is interested in doing the job for Ray. And the reason he's interested and needs the money is he's got a $300 a day heroin addiction.
I mean, and that's going to be even more in those days.
Well, exactly, yeah.
That must be, $1,000, probably more.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Gosh, that's a lot of heroin.
Ray sure knows how to pick them, doesn't he?
You're better off getting a guy outside the 7-Eleven. Or is this the guy from the 7-Eleven?
No, this is a different guy. This isn't the 7-Eleven guys. This is the second guy.
Oh, no, of course, this is Pearl Harbor, yep.
Louis asks for 25 grand to do the job. Ray says later to the FBI that he hoped the price would be too high and deter Steve, but Steve just agrees with the price. So Ray has found his hitman in Louis. So on Monday, the 6th of April, they pack a handgun in a suitcase. Ray drives to pick up Louis. Louis says they're going for 3 days to New York from LA. Louis says, I'm going to need a lot of heroin for that. I can't go cold turkey while I'm committing a murder. So Ray drives into his dealer, he buys a load of drugs, and then they get the plane to New York.
Where's he putting his drugs when he's getting on the plane?
Well, this is before 9/11, so baggage is rarely x-rayed in these days. So they're just taking a gun and heroin on the plane, I suppose.
Gosh, what a time.
So they land in New York, April the 7th, day before my birthday. Mm-hmm. Louis makes Ray stop to buy some wine, and then he shoots up, and then he says he's ready to do the job. Fucking Nora.
Oh, my gosh.
They've got the address to Nora's office, but they need to check he's there, so they're going to phone the office. But they've forgotten to get the phone number for the office, right? They go to a payphone. I didn't even know this happened in these days. There's a phone book in the payphone in those days, and they just find the number to the Chippendales.
Oh, wow.
And they call Denoya's office, right? And Ray says he's a dancer, he wants an audition with the Chippendales troupe. And they agree to an interview at 4:30 that afternoon.
Gosh, that's easy to get an audition.
I know, it's why. And he says, who am I speaking to? And he says, Nick Denoya. So they know he's in the building. So they've basically just phoned through to a guy who's Mr. Chippendales to check he's in his building.
Yeah, sure.
So they're going to turn up. I'm quite nervous, even though I know what happens, right? He gives Louis the 9mm automatic handgun.
Yeah, give it to someone that's on smack.
To give it to the guy that's absolutely off his face. So Louis walks across the street into Denoya's building, holding a drink from Burger King, takes the elevator to the 15th floor, walks down the hall into an office, and there's a blonde man there called William Mott, who works in the kind of outer office to Denoya. Louis says, are you Nick? Reaching for his gun, he says, are you Nick? Mott says, no, he's in the other office. So he thinks that Louis is a delivery man. He says, why don't you just knock on Nick's door? And Louis says, thanks, I'll be back. I have to talk to Nick. And then he leaves the office and he walks down the hall to the toilet. Basically, because Mott is there, he doesn't want to have to kill both of them. So he's basically got to kill time until Mott is out of the picture, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So he goes to the toilet. A few minutes later, Mott puts his head into Nick's office and says, there's someone looking for him, he'll return later. Mott says, I've got to go and use the restroom. Closes Nick's door. He finds the restroom door ajar, toilet, let's call it what it is. Here's running water in the sink, so he returns to his office. And he waits for the restroom to become available, toilet. He makes 2 phone calls. After about 10 minutes has passed, he returns to the toilet. The door is still ajar. He pushes open the door and he sees the delivery man. He thinks it's a delivery man, bent over the sink, splashing water on his face as if he's ill. That means he doesn't really see Louis's face. And he steps into the stall. So at that point, Louis knows that Nick Denoyer is unattended. Mm-hmm. So he returns to Denoyer's office, leaves the Burger King cup in the bathroom. Bit of evidence there.
No, yeah.
Well, it actually doesn't catch up with him, but, it's nice. And then he kills him.
Oh, no.
You didn't expect it, did you?
I thought Louis, the heroin addict, was going to fuck up the murder.
Everything said he would. So he genuinely just kills him, and then he runs down the hallway, flings open the stairwell door, goes down. Mott hears the gun when he's in the thing. Hears a loud crack as if pistol will be fired, followed by the slam of the stairwell door. And then he rushes back to the office, and he finds Nick seated at his desk, listening to the left. He calls 999, but Nick Denoyer is dead. It's fucking mad, isn't it?
Okay, tell me what happens next. I feel very stressed.
So Louis runs to Ray's car and gets in, says it's done, to which Ray replies, what do you mean it's done? Absolutely unbelievable from Ray. Come on, mate.
What?
What do you mean it's done? What the fuck do you think is done?
The murder that we've come to do that you're paying me for.
I mean, come on, Ray. Ray. So Ray starts the car and he pulls out. After a few minutes of driving on the run, Ray hears snoring, and incredibly, Louis is already fallen asleep.
I mean, I suppose a lot of adrenaline would leave your body, and that is sort of exhausting.
And a lot of heroin is still in your body, which does relax you, I suppose. So at the end of the day, what better time to have a nap than 3 minutes after you've murdered someone?
Horrific.
Incredibly, Susie, that won't be the last time of someone falling asleep in a really mad situation. Something for you to look forward to in episode 4. That is the weirdest trail I've ever done, but look out for it.
Really strange.
Do you know what? Join the fan club now if you want to hear a man fall asleep in episode 4. So Ray basically drives and drives. He gets lost. And then after ages of driving, they realise they've managed to loop round and they're now passing the scene of the crime.
Okay.
There's all this traffic at the building. The police have already arrived and they're cordoning off the street, and they've basically managed to drive around for ages, loop back by mistake, and arrive back at the scene of the crime they've just committed.
This is like if the Chuckle Brothers had to do a murder.
It's so mad. Ray is so shit at
everything.
At crime. At everything.
Yeah, I mean, he might be great at acting.
He might be a great actor. Do you know what? I don't think I could burn down a building.
No, and I couldn't either. I should, and I wouldn't, and I couldn't organise a hit, and nor would I want to. And I'd like that for the record. I'd like that for the tape.
And nor have you ever. Just to be clear.
Just to be clear.
Never even tried.
Well, except for that time, no.
If you saw someone stepping on your toes, you wouldn't have them murdered, would you?
No.
No, exactly.
Your Honour.
If you were in a 50-50 deal with someone, do you know what, Michael? Do answer the door today, and it might be a hitman I've set to you.
Yeah, watch out, Michael.
Watch out, Michael. That napkin deal we wrote was a huge mistake on your part. They managed to get past the building just like 30 seconds before the street gets blocked off and they are caught in an eternal traffic jam for the building where the crime is. It's fucking mental. So they then drive to a hotel. Ray books Louis a room and then drives to his sister's house, which doesn't feel like what you do when you shouldn't be in New York.
Yeah, don't catch up with family and friends.
Oh, why are you in New York? No reason.
Yeah.
Has the guy from the Chippendales just been murdered?
Don't you know those guys?
Well, this is it. The day after...
Yeah, this is unrelated.
Oh, no, he hasn't, has he? That's awful. I was driving past there twice earlier. So the day after the murder, Ray alive to pick up Louis from the hotel, because he hasn't taken Louis to his sister's at least, right?
No, thank God for that.
Louis has bought several newspapers with the headlines about the murder as mementos.
Oh my God, Louis.
It's not good enough, is it?
Get yourself to rehab. Stop it.
Get yourself to rehab. Stop murdering people and stop creating evidence.
Yeah, totally.
He also admits that he's called his mum. Ray says to him that he shouldn't have called his mum. And he says, well, you went to say at your sister's. So they're kind of tit for tat. Ray stops at a payphone on his way to the airport and arranges to call Steve. And they arrange to meet. They land in Los Angeles.
Hey, babe.
Hey, babe. Hey, babe. Babe, it's Babe. It's done. You know what I mean?
I've done the murder, babe. Bye, Steve. By the way, this is Ray. Bye.
I'd forgotten their code name was Babe. So Ray doesn't want Louis to know who's hired him, right? So he tells him to wait in the car as he goes to get the money for Louis from Steve. Yeah?
Yep.
Of the promised 25 grand, Steve's only got 10 grand. They are so shit as criminals.
Also, Steve could be absolutely loaded.
I know. Loaded and involved in no crime.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You've literally had a brilliant idea and you've completely fucked it up by your own...
Greed.
Yeah, greed. He could just be working a nice job at a petrol station right now, a Destiny 1.
He could be living it up off the money from the Chippendales. He could be in Barbados.
It's unbelievable. He's only got 10 grand because he says he was unable to get all the money at such short notice, which, considering how long it's taken to organise the murder, is insane. I don't know why I'm getting angry about it, because they murdered someone. That shouldn't be the bit I'm getting angry. Steve says he'll get them all the money. So Ray gives Louis the 10 grand. Eventually, 3 weeks later, Louis gets all the money. Obviously, Susie, the police are going to investigate this high-profile crime. Mm. So there's a few witnesses, but there's not much to go on, right?
What about Mott?
Well, Mott is one of the witnesses. So there's a few witnesses. There's the freight elevator operator at Denoya's building, Ali Akram, who says there was a 5'5", 145-pound, 30-year-old Hispanic male who rushed past him on the stairwell. So that's probably him. Mm-hmm. William Mott, similar description, 5'7", Hispanic male, between 140 and 150 pounds, basically the same guy, wearing a light brown jacket.
I could never guess what someone weighs.
Exactly, yeah.
If someone said to me, how much does Josh weigh? And even in stones, which is what I would use.
Even after seeing me topless.
Even after seeing you topless, I would have no idea.
Let's play the game, Susie.
How much do I think you weigh?
Yeah.
11 stone?
Unbelievable. I've never been so
Is that too much?
Yeah, it's too much.
10?
10 and 3/4.
Okay, do you know what? I'll take back what I said.
You could guess what people weigh.
Do you know what I did? I worked out what I weighed and then put a stone and a half on for man.
William Mott, he gives the same description. Then there's a final witness. She's called Cecile Platovsky, and she shared an elevator with a Hispanic male before the murder. She gives the exact same description, but in her description, he was wearing a fedora hat, which just feels like a...
That feels like racial stereotyping, doesn't it? Come on.
And of course, he was in a fedora hat. I don't know whether he was or wasn't, but who has got it wrong and forgotten the fedora hat? Or
I don't think you'd forget a fedora.
No.
I think that woman has racially profiled someone of Hispanic descent.
And added the fedora hat. He was Hispanic, by which I mean he was wearing a fedora hat, obviously.
Goes without saying.
There's actually a moment when it turns on Denoya's family because... Incredibly, Denoya got a life insurance policy for 80 grand, which took effect 1 week before the murder. So they think it might have been his family that did it. But it wasn't, obviously.
Obviously. But that's weird timing.
Yeah, it is.
I wonder if he thought there was a hit out on his life. I wonder if he worried that Steve would do this.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But then surely you might have security if you thought that.
I think if I thought I was going to be murdered, I wouldn't go, I better get some life insurance. I'd go... Do you know what? I might do something about this murder situation that
I know the first thing you'd do, you'd ring Flo.
I think I'm going to be murdered. Could you take me out of that gig on Friday?
I'm just giving you the heads up so you don't have to replace me last minute.
So the older brother is Valentin Val Denoya. He gets the money, but he hasn't Or we know he hasn't organised the murder. I don't need to point that out to you. The twist isn't that the family have done it. The authorities, they learn that Steve and Nick had argued a lot over the touring show, but there's no leads to Steve in the murder. So Steve is in the clear, and the case kind of grows cold. And then there's a guy called Bruce Nahin who establishes a reward fund for information leading to the arrest of Nick's killer. And he asks Steve whether he'd contribute to the fund. And Steve replies, the guy who did the murder did me a favour. Why should I make a donation?
Oh, Steve.
The thing about Steve is that better than pretending you're sad when everyone knows you're not sad? Do you know what I mean?
No, but I think what you do in that scenario is go, we didn't get on, but I didn't want him dead. Yeah, here's $100.
Yeah, that's much better, Susie. That's what I'd have done, yeah. That's what I will do.
Sure.
When Romesh is murdered.
Oh, not Romy.
No, not Romy. So Steve then calls the Denoyer family to ask whether he can attend the funeral. The cheek of it. They all think he's behind the murder, so they basically say no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go to hell is what they say. Great American phrase.
Yeah.
Steve then, as if he hasn't put himself enough in the frame, tries to get the napkin deal voided because he says now Nick's dead, the napkin deal doesn't count because that was a deal between me and Nick. So actually now I own all of the Chippendales. What a coincidence. But the Denoyer estate basically end up owning half of the Chippendales. So he now owns half the Chippendales with the Denoyer family, who basically end up selling Nick's company and his stake to Steve for $1.3 million. So Steve does end up with the Chippendales. It feels so unfair, doesn't it, Susie?
It feels really unfair.
Don't worry.
I was about to say to you earlier, did Steve get away with it? And then I remembered we were doing this podcast now.
Oh, by the way, yeah, Steve's still not been accused of this. So legally, this podcast is quite problematic. I've drawn a lot of conclusions and I'm just deciding
freewheeling.
I'm freewheeling and accusing Steve publicly. Steve, if you're listening, no. I can tell you, Susie, there's no legal issues here. So Steve continues as the owner of the Chippendales. Now, the Chippendales is kind of, it's still chugging along. They've lost their liquor license in 1988, over the not allowing male patrons into the club. The LA said that's not allowed. So it remains open but without a liquor license. But then the fire department, finally it closes down, right, in August 1988. This is before this time. It becomes actually the Chippendales venue becomes a preschool and day centre, which is quite sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, gosh, real shift.
It's a real Ray's Korea style gear shift, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
And then they basically just do Chippendales on the road. But he's looking for a new venue, right? And he's met this guy, Steve's met this guy called Dr. Janjit Singh Sadeva, who is known as Dr. Joe to his American friends. He's a surgeon. And they want to create a building that's an adult Disneyland with a Chippendales club and other forms of adult entertainment all under one roof. Doesn't that sound absolutely horrific?
Yeah, that is not a place for you and I to go for a drink after a tour.
Exactly, yeah. So they bring in another guy called Moise Hendels, who's a real estate investor, and they all agree there's $200,000 down payment for the $2.5 million building. They all agreed to split it three ways. Steve's check bounces, of course it does, Susie.
I still don't understand why he's so broke.
I don't understand his finances at all, right?
He now owns all of the Chippendales.
Yeah.
His check's still bouncing. I mean, you've got to look after your money.
You've got to look after your money. He doesn't want to be cut out of the deal, so he negotiates to lease the building from his former partners, those two guys, for £30,000 a month, and then he can buy an interest at a later date. But even before the new Chippendales is opened, he's failed to pay the rent to his former partners, and so they evict him from the building that he started with them. What do you think he does?
Oh, does he try and burn it down?
No, he gets in touch with Ray and asks him to murder Dr. Joe.
But he promised Ray. He said to Ray, you'll never hear from me again.
I know, Susie. So in December 1988, Ray is in quite a bad place because of the murder, really. Like, he's stressed about the murder. He's drinking. He stopped for driving under the influence. which loses his job. His new job at the time is a traffic school instructor because of Ray's different jobs. Steve said to him, he wants this doctor guy dead. Ray says, I'm not your personal hitman. And then Steve says that if Ray stopped helping him, he can't afford to have Ray around, so he'll get someone to kill Ray.
Oh my, this is all so stressful.
Do you know what? It does make your life feel a lot easier, doesn't it?
Oh, gosh.
But why is Steve doing any of it? He doesn't need to do any of it.
Well, he does now because he's fucked his money.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, it's too late. The horse has bolted. But he gives Ray $3,000 in an envelope with Dr. Joe's home and office addresses. He luckily later says he's changed his mind. He doesn't want him killed. Ray has no idea why he's changed his mind. And so that is one of the crimes that Ray just doesn't have to do.
Handy.
And then in 1990, a rival touring male dance group starts called Adonis, Men of Hollywood. And the new group has several former Chippendale employees, including the choreographer Mike Fullington. And Steve takes this very personally, Susie.
He takes everything very... I don't think he was hugged enough as a child.
He threatens the men who've left. His threats fail, so he tries to prevent Adonis from touring Britain by saying to theatres when they take the Chippendales, they can't take any other similar groups at the same time. And obviously the venues are like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Adonis brings charges of unfair competition against the Chippendales to the British Office of Fair Trading, and it basically rules against Steve and the Chippendales. So he's only one thing for it, Susie. In 1991, Steve and Ray meet again. And he asks Ray to kill Mike Fullington. It's not a surprise, is it?
It's not a surprise, but I am surprised by the amount of murder there is in the story of the Chippendales.
Is this the story you thought I was going to be telling you?
I thought you were going to tell me about those cartoon chipmunks. This is shocking.
It's so dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild. So in the next and final episode, Steve and Ray are going to try and organise a murder, incredibly, Susie, in the British seaside town of Blackpool.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So let me take you to Blackpool, where they try and organise a murder. And maybe, Susie, Ray finally gets his comeuppance on Steve and turns informer.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Well,
let's get a stick of rock.
Oh, get a stick of rock. Get a Kiss Me Quick hat on, but not if you're a Chippendale, because you won't enjoy it anymore.
I'll see you in Blackpool.
If you want to listen to that now and get all the episodes of this series, you can at museumofpopculture.supportingcast.fm and follow us on social media at archiveofpopculture_pod to see links and clips to some of the things we discuss in the episode, as well as being the home of pop culture nostalgia.